This is another video brought to you by the Ichiban Productions. Like, comment, subscribe. So welcome everyone, happy days are here again. We're back with another tech review. This time we're looking at the Nintendo Online exclusive Nintendo 64 controller. Now this bad boy's going to set you back at $39.99 and you're going to need a Nintendo Online subscription just to access this. Now I pre-ordered this before it came out. I know it's difficult to get hold of at the moment, but I'm sure it will be back in stock because it's ever so popular. And you know what Nintendo are like, they like their beer money. So this controller is released alongside the Sega Genesis and Master System controller to coincide with the releasing of the Nintendo Online Expansion Pass, which obviously has N64 games and Sega Master System games available for you to play. Now this video isn't to talk about is it value for money, is the emulation any good or anything like that. It's to show you, is the controller worth getting, does it work well with the Nintendo Switch, and hopefully advise you, should you take the dip or is it a waste of money? You know what comes first. Let's check out the box. So we got the plastic front where you can see the glorious controller in all its glory there. Nintendo Online, Nintendo 64, nothing on the bottom, nothing on the side. On the top we've got the Nintendo logo, and of course this is the European edition because I'm in the UK here. And there we go, nothing there. On the back here's what we get. We get the controller and a cable, USB-C cable. You know I love USB-C, but I'm pleased to see that it includes it. I'm looking at you, Sony, with your DualSense with no cable in there. Shame on you. This is how you do it. You plug it all in or you charge it. And that's pretty much it. Of course, it's a Bluetooth controller, so it works with the Switch, and we should, in theory, be able to use it with other Bluetooth-enabled devices, but we'll have to see. So it's time to take a look at the beautiful controller in all its glory. So let's open it up. Here we go. I like the Nintendo stuff because it's not got the old sellotape stopping me from opening it. And here we go. Moving that, removing that. Here it is, but it's wedged in, so I don't want to be ripping that out. So what do we got to do next to open it up? Oh yeah. Let's lift. Let's just. Too excited. Must not damage. There we go. That was totally super deluxe slick. And here we go. Here's the controller and the instructions, and there ain't nothing else in the box. So let's take a closer look. Here we go. Here's the USB-A to USB-C cable, I think, which is very nicely stuck to the instructions, of course. It's the typical one you get from Nintendo. If you've bought any of the Nintendo products, you know what to expect from this. It is what it is, but we're going to need to use that to charge it. And next we've got the instructions, in case you want to read it all. So it's got the traditional layout. However, there are additional buttons on the controller. We'll have a look at that in a sec. No way am I unpacking that. I don't know about you, but if you unfold the instructions in these sort of things, there ain't no folding them back up. So we'll leave that for another time, perhaps. And here's the controller. Let's have a closer look. I'm thoroughly excited to actually get this open and have a look at it, because I don't know about you, I was a massive fan of the N64 when I was a kid. You know, I had a PlayStation, but I remember buying a Nintendo 64 when it'd been out for a while with a load of games, and I absolutely marked out. Whoa, this... What an amazing feel. This, you know, has the legitimate feel of an N64 controller, and I know that's obviously obvious because it is an Nintendo 64 controller, but it does bring back that nostalgic feeling with the with the thumbstick and the unusual setup here, because remember, you can have it this way round or you can have it this way round. And anyway, here we go. We've got the joystick, we've got the traditional button layout. On the back, we've got ourselves the Z targeting button. We've got a pre-filled in expansion pack or rumble pack. They end up pulling that out. That's a shame. And on the top, we've got the L and the R button, but we've got some additional buttons here. We've got ZR. That, of course, is for the Nintendo Online things, for suspending it and making save points and stuff like that. They got to have that because they can't miss it. Why they couldn't have put a ZL there, you know, that for me is just cheap. Yeah, just cheap. Anyway, screenshot button. We got the syncing button, and I've got the home button there, and away we go. I did read online that apparently this will work with dual stick games on the Nintendo Switch, where this would operate as the other stick, if you can imagine that. Like, weird. Right, I am thoroughly impressed. I think for the price, it's feeling well built. Now, the proof, of course, is in the pudding. So what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to try it out on the old Switch, try it with some Nintendo 64 games, and give you my final opinion. If you've been a follower of my channel, you know I can't just turn that on and plug it in. No. Lithium-ion batteries, I'm going to have to charge it to full to start. So I'm going to leave the video here. I'm going to return in a few days after I've charged it, blazed up some of them games, so I can give you my final opinion. And I'm back. Like I said, I'll be back. So I've been playing these Nintendo 64 games for about a week now, and overall, I'm not gonna lie, I'm really impressed with the Nintendo 64 controller. It really does have that ultimate nostalgia feel when playing these Nintendo 64 games. I genuinely think that if you got them on the Switch, you're going to need the controller, because I don't think using the Joy-Cons is going to give you that similar experience. We got a little bit of Zelda here right at the beginning, so I just wanted to show a few things to show that, yeah, it works exactly as you expected. The controls are exactly what you'd think it is, and there's Navi annoying us, as always. Now, one of the complaints I saw online was that there is a little bit of lag with the controller. Now, I think it's hard for me to test this personally. It's only down to my personal opinion as I see it on the screen. And I do feel there is a little bit of lag. And I'll try and show you what I mean. So if I walk forward, watch me press the blue button, which is attack. And then he rolls. Attack. And then he rolls. Attack. And then he rolls. But then again, I don't know whether that's just mind over matter. Like, I'm not the expert of recording, the exact frames and delays and stuff like that. But it does feel just as a slight delay. But then again, for me, that's nothing that's different from like a nostalgia feel. I seem to feel and seem to remember that there's always a little bit of this. It certainly doesn't take away from the gameplay, and I'm not enjoying it any less because there is a little bit of lag. But overall, I am really pleased with this. What I'm going to do now is swap to a little bit of Mario Kart, because it wouldn't be an Ichiban production review of some new tech and not play a bit of Mario Kart. So a little bit of Mario Kart's the only way to go. So let's see how we do with this. One of the things I forgot to mention in some of my, earlier in the review, is that this controller does have some rumble. So I know loads of you will be thinking, oh wow, we need the rumble pack. Oh no, what a waste. What a waste. But the controller has got inbuilt rumble, which is a really nice little feature. It's definitely more vicious than the old rumble pack. So it does give you that authentic sort of feel. So you're not going without the old rumble. This is not going well. And let's see how we do. Here we go. Look at him. Absolutely unbelievable. How'd you like them, Poplies? Here we go. First place, of course. You know what this is. If you're interested, it's a 50cc race, because only real pros drive on 50cc's. And here we go. A bit of slide in there. There's something really quite comfortable about using the N64 controller, I think. It really is nostalgic. Kind of makes me feel like, I'm a kid again. And I would highly recommend getting your hands on one of these if you absolutely can. Let's see. I mean, I know it's 50cc, and somebody's going to be laying into me going, oh, only real pros drive on 150cc. But here we go. Final lap. You've only got a few more seconds to see the Ichiban dominate and own this. Look out! Nah, you got to be quicker than that to beat me. Holding it behind. Of course, the Z button behind is holding the... look at him trying to nip around the outside. He's holding the shell behind. And is he going to dominate? Yes, of course he is, because he's a Mario Kart Pro. Just got to avoid some of this. Oh, look out! Oh, that was close. Look. Here we go. No! Oh, look at that. The true pro hitting a banana and still going over first. 10 on 10. After all that fun and adventure, I think it's time to slow it down. Slow it way down. And talk about my final thoughts on the controller. And a little bit on the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack. Talking about the expansion pack, for me, I already had a Nintendo Online subscription. It cost about 22 quid for me to upgrade. Do I think it's worth the 22 quid? I think it's too early days to say. For me, I love Ocarina of Time. It's probably one of my favourite games. So the fact it's included, meant that I was going to get it and try it out for one more time. From the little bit that I have played, I do feel that the 3DS version of Ocarina of Time, the remaster sort of thing, is probably the way to go. And I might bust that out and finish it off. But for me, I think it's time will tell. Yeah, that price, is it going to be worth it? We're going to see in a few months. If it's an early adopter, I do question whether it's worth that extra money. And I know the internet has blown up and gone crazy about being worth that extra money. For me, I don't mind it at this stage. Unfortunately, if anybody knows me or, sees the games I buy, I tend to buy a lot of games, and sometimes they stay in their cellophane for way too long. So $22.99 isn't too much for me to put into this, but I would very much like to see where they go. The controller, on the other hand, is a much easier conversation in my opinion. $39.99 isn't too expensive for a controller like this, a Bluetooth controller, a very nostalgic one. I think this, if you're going to have the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack, you like N64, you got a bit of nostalgia for it. For me, this controller is absolutely worth the price. I think it's so nostalgic. I mean, it's exactly the same as the other one, except of course, it's for the Switch, it's Bluetooth and it's not cabled. And you know, what more can I say? If you can get hold of it, I say it's an absolute must-buy. I love the vibration feature. The buttons are super pressy, exactly as I remember. And can you hear that? Just as you remember. Although when I got an N64 when I was younger, I think I got it from a car boot sale, and my joystick was super loose, and it was. But this one is way better. It's got way more bounce in it. But it's a brand new controller. If you can get hold of it, I would say it's an absolute must-buy. Which means you know what's coming next. It's got to be that star rating. I'm sure it's going to come as no surprise. I'm going to give this about 5 stars out of 5 stars. It's an absolute must-buy if you're an N64 fan and you're going to go for the expansion pass. What I will say, however, it's been quite interesting to see that Nintendo have, one, admitted the expansion pass is going to need some work, but two, they've also retrospectively gone back and added support to, do you remember the Super Mario All-Stars? It had Mario 64 in. Well, this bad boy works with that. So if you've got the cartridge version of Mario 64, this is going to work as well. Nintendo, you think of everything. Just to finish, I did want to talk about using this with other Switch games, and to be honest with you, it's very hit and miss. So Nintendo Switch games, basically, you've got to figure out what buttons you actually need to be successful. So if you look at the old Switch and the Joy-Cons next to this one here, if you just need the A and B button, you know, chances are you're going to be okay. But if you need the X and Y button on this, you know, for your game, there's no way you can use it. Additionally, it's got the R and L button, but it doesn't have the trigger button. So again, if your game requires the ZR and the ZL button, you can forget it doing this. I tried to play Metroid Dread with this, and it was a disaster on so many different levels. Less said about that, the better. If you're looking for the N64 games, definitely. If you're looking for this to try and play other Switch games with, don't bother. It's absolutely not worth it. It's all about the nostalgia factor, so I'll leave you to make the choice. So we'll leave it there. If you enjoyed the review, press the old subscribe button and join the Ichiban army. We hit a milestone the other day. I woke up and saw we got over 300 subscribers. I absolutely marked out. It blew my mind, and I want to say a thank you to each and every one of you. You know who you are, and I love you, and I owe you a can of Coke. If you enjoyed the video, give it a cheeky thumbs up, which means more people can see it and make a good choice about whether to buy this or not. If you got any comments, post them in the comment section below. I reply to each and every comment. It just means so much to me to think that people engage with my videos. If I missed anything in the review and you got some questions, post them below. I'll get back to you super quick. And you know what I'm going to say. Look after yourselves, take care of the people around you, and most importantly, stay out of trouble.